Hi, hello, and welcome to another session on data communications and networks. In today's session, we'll see the Wi-Fi 802.11 and its various releases. So let's get started. So we'll see all the various releases of the Wi-Fi 802.11. Wi-Fi is a transmission medium through which a signal is received and the data can be shared. For example, to communicate between two PCs, a LAN can be used, which is a wired network, and Bluetooth also can be used, which is a wireless network. Wi-Fi is known as IEEE 802.11. This was launched in the year 1980 in the month of February. The Wi-Fi signals in the US are stronger than Europe due to their higher transmission power. This IEEE 802.11, it is a part of IEEE 802 set of local area network protocols. They are the world's most widely used wireless computing standards used in home and office networks for laptops, printers, smartphones, which can talk to each other and access the internet without connecting any wires. These were created and maintained by the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. The base version of this standard was released in the year 1997 and had subsequent changes. We'll see the first one, which is the 802.11, which was released in the year 1997. This 802.11, it was released in the year 1997 and it was clarified in 1999, but nowadays it has become obsolete. It has two net bit rates of 1 or 2 megabits per second. It also has the forward error correction codes. It had three physical layer technologies. One is the diffuse infrared, which is operating at 1 megabits per second. The second one is the frequency hopping spread spectrum operating at 1 megabits per second or 2 megabits per second. The third one is the direct sequence spread spectrum operating at 1 or 2 megabits per second. The last two technologies, that is frequency hop spread spectrum and direct sequence spread spectrum, they both use the microwave transmission at 2.4 gigahertz. The next release was the 802.11a. This was published in the year 1999 and it uses the same data link layer protocol and the frame format as the original standard, but here it uses an OFDM based air interface, that is a physical layer. It operates in the 5 gigahertz band with a maximum data rate of 54 megabits per second. It also has error correction codes and very good throughput. Since the 2.4 gigahertz band is heavily used and very much crowded, operating in the 5 gigahertz band gives a very big advantage for 802.11a. But the signals in 802.11a are more readily absorbed by the walls and other solid objects in their path because of their smaller wavelength. Also, they cannot penetrate as far as those of the next release. This 802.11a also suffers from interference. The next release is the 802.11b. This standard, it has a maximum data rate of 11 megabits per second. It uses the same media access method as in the original standard. There is increase in the throughput. The interference from other products operating in the 2.4 gigahertz band is much more. The other products operating in the 2.4 gigahertz band are microwave ovens, Bluetooth devices, baby monitors, cordless telephones, and some amateur radio equipment. The next release is the 802.11g. This was published in the year 2003 in June. This works in the 2.4 gigahertz band like the 802.11b. It also uses the same OFDM based transmission scheme as 802.11a. It operates at a maximum physical layer bit rate of 54 megabits per second. The 802.11g hardware is fully backward compatible with 802.11b hardware. This also suffers interference from other products operating in the 2.4 gigahertz band like wireless keyboards. The next release is 802.11n. This was an amendment upon the previous 802.11 standards. This standard added support for multiple input, multiple output antennas. It operates on both 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz bands. Its net data rate ranges from 54 megabits per second to 600 megabits per second. The IEEE had approved the amendment and it was published in October 2009. The next release was 802.11 AC. This is an amendment to the IEEE 802.11 which was published in December 2013. This standard was labeled as Wi-Fi 5 by the Wi-Fi Alliance. Changes compared to the previous releases were wider channels. So this had a very wider channel, that is 80 to 160 megahertz in the 5 gigahertz band. Higher order modulation techniques were used like 256 QAM and 64 QAM techniques. Also multi-user MIMO techniques were added in this release. The next release was the 802.11 AD. This is an amendment that defines a new physical layer to operate in the 60 gigahertz millimeter wave spectrum. This frequency band has significantly different propagation characteristics than the 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz bands where the Wi-Fi networks operate. This standard was brought to the market under the name as WiGig. The 802.11 AD is a protocol which is used for very high data rates, about 8 gigabits, and for short range communication about 1 to 10 meters. The next release was the 802.11 AF. This is also referred to as the Wi-Fi and the Super Wi-Fi. This was approved in February 2014. It allows WLAN operation in TV wide space spectrum in the VHF and the UHF bands between 54 and 790 megahertz. It is used to transmit on unused TV channels by limiting interference like analog TV, digital TV, and wireless microphones. The physical layer uses OFDM and it is based on 802.11 AC. The propagation, path loss, and the attenuation by the materials is very less in the UHF and the VHF bands when compared to the 2.4 GHz and the 5 GHz bands. Hence, the possible range is increased. The frequency channels are 6 to 8 MHz wide, and the data rate is 426.7 megabits per second for 6 and 7 MHz channels and 568.9 megabits per second for 8 MHz channels. The last two releases, that is the 802.11 AF and 802.11 AD, are not unlicensed. They are commercial versions and the frequency is different and the purposes are also different. To use both of these two releases, we need to pay, and the last one works on the UHF or the VHF range of frequencies, which is in the TV signal range. So the range of the IEEE 802.11 AF is much large, where the data can be transmitted over larger distances. Example is the data can be shared between mobiles as long as 20 kilometers. So these are all the releases of the IEEE 802.11 standard. So that's all in this session. Thank you.